Good evening. Welcome to Midweek Connect. I'm glad that you've chosen to spend some time with me this evening as we look into God's Word and see how it can apply to our lives. Tonight we're going to be we're going to continue in the Psalms, and we'll be looking at Psalm 4. Last week we looked at Psalm 3. This week we'll look at Psalm 4. And there's some similarities here that we're going to look at in just a moment. But before we get into that, I just want to encourage you to join us on Sunday. On Sunday morning, we'll be receiving communion together. We'll be worshiping together. Our Sunday school classes will be meeting, and we hope that you can be a part of worshiping with us. So you're more than welcome. You're heartily invited to come and join us on Sunday morning. Worship is at 9 and at 11 o'clock with small groups meeting at 10. Come and be a part of that. This evening we look into Psalm 4, which is the first psalm that mentions the use of instruments. This is a psalm that would have been used in corporate worship. It's a psalm of David. The audience is the people of God at large, but also David's son Absalom, who has rebelled against him at the time. We do believe that David is the likely writer of this psalm, or someone who's writing certainly with David in mind. So let's look at the Psalm of David and see what it has for us this evening. I'll read the whole thing, and then we'll go back and we'll unpack it a little, and you'll see some of the similarities to Psalm 3. Answer me when I call to you, my righteous God. Give me relief from my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. How long will you people turn my glory into shame? How long will you love delusions and seek false gods? Know that the Lord has set apart his faithful servant for himself. The Lord hears when I call on him. Tremble and do not sin. When you are on your beds, search your hearts and be silent. Offer the sacrifices of the righteous and trust in the Lord. Many, Lord, are asking, who will bring us prosperity? Let the light of your face shine upon us. Fill my heart with joy when their grain and new wine abound. In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. It's a perplexing psalm in some ways. As we look over it initially, we're trying to figure out who is David talking about, what is the situation here, what is this psalm telling us. But I think we have to remember, if this is a psalm of David written with Absalom in mind and his rebellious son who is trying to take over the nation, we kind of get a bit of a bigger picture of what is going on, especially when we look at verse 6. Many, Lord, are asking, who will bring us prosperity? What leader, what ruler is going to cause us to prosper? What king is going to bring us prosperity in our land? Isn't that incredibly ironic given the nature of this current political season? In less than a week, we'll be voting. Many people are wondering, who are we going to elect? Who is going to bring us prosperity? Where in the world are we going to be able to thrive? What ruler, what leader is going to lead us to flourish? I think that's a fair question, but maybe it's not the only question. I think during election seasons, we have the ability to slip into an idolatrous heart, believing that our only mover that is going to be able to bring us prosperity is some politician in a faraway city. That somehow something that happens in Washington is going to allow us to finally be the people we were supposed to be, finally be the people we were meant to be. That's what's happening in this passage. God's people, his chosen, selected people, are saying, oh, if we can just get the right ruler, then we can be all that we are supposed to be. Oh, if we can just get rid of David and get Absalom, oh, he will cause us to prosper. They had lost their identity. And again, I'm not saying that economics isn't important and looking at the economic policies of a president isn't important. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. When you put your hope in a political leader to get you to the point where you can finally flourish, then you've put your hope in the wrong things. If your idea of flourishing as a person or a family is dependent upon the economy or dependent upon a political leader, you've missed the idea of what it means to flourish according to God. According to God, our flourishing comes from knowing Him and growing into becoming like Jesus Christ. We flourish when we begin to look like Christ. We began talking on Sunday about virtue and how virtue is a lost thought in our society. But virtue is something that gives us purpose and meaning as we live our lives trying to become more like Jesus. That's what virtue does. It makes us into the image of Jesus. As we read this psalm, the people are asking, oh, if we can just have another ruler, then we can flourish. I'm telling you, if our ruler is King Jesus, then we can truly flourish. Then we can be all that God has created us to be. We can be the humans that God intended us to be. This is incredibly important, and you're going to hear me talk about this on Sunday. But God has designed humanity to flourish. And in that, He tells us that becoming like Jesus makes us more human. The humans that we were intended to be. The type of humans that after God created us, He looked upon us and said, this is very good in Genesis. So David reminds us of these questions. The fact that people are longing to see who will bring us prosperity. David responds, fill my heart with joy when their new grain and wine abound. And then it closes with this beautiful last verse. In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. This is our last Midweek Connect before the election. Many of you are living in anxiety, and you are not sleeping peacefully. You're worried about this election and what's going to happen, and I'm not dismissing that or not taking that seriously for you. But there is something in this passage for us tonight. That when we recognize who is ultimately in charge, who is king over all kings and kingdoms, who is the ruler over all empires, when we recognize that the creator and sustainer of all things holds us, his children, in his hands, then we can, like David, in peace lie down and sleep. Because you, Yahweh, the Lord, He is the one who causes us to dwell in safety. He is the one who holds us. Politicians will come and go. Political parties will come and go. Election cycles come and go. But the one who remains and sustains is King Jesus. So in that truth, find peace tonight and sleep well. Good night.